Lots of jobs created at Quonset. We'll tell you how they got there. Stephen King, who runs the whole shop down there at Quonset Industrial Park, is my guest tonight, and I'm looking forward to speaking with him. Yeah, they passed the 10,000 job mark recently here and celebrated that. And, you know, in a place where we seem to be somewhat rudderless and a little confused about how to develop the economy, this is a project that has ample growth opportunity, but has already proven itself pretty substantial. So we'll take some notes and here to that. It is great to have you in to My State of Mind. I am Dan York. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know, before I get to the rundown tonight, let me just say that I left out in the conversation this evening all of the violence. I mean, think about it. Between a guy that went nuts in Philadelphia with his family, oh my gosh, to what happened in Sydney, Australia, and now what we learned the Taliban in Pakistan has done. I am not unwitting about those things, but to be honest with you, when I put stuff into the rundown, I ask myself the following question. Well, what do I have to say about that that might give you something to think about? And all I can do at this point is pray. So, on to things that are a little bit more palatable. Bush, Clinton, or Bush? Yes, I think you get that. Do you feel the surge right now? There is a groundswell of electricity in Providence today. I'll tell you what that's all about. This is the strangest election story I've seen in a long time, and with the polls about to close in Fall River, we'll find out how strange it ends. And there's drama in the city of Cranston when it comes to police, and some tells me that we haven't heard the end of this real story. Nice to see that the police in general had a good talk last night in the south end of Providence. And of course, we always check in with your state of mind. Let us dig into some of these things that I'm thinking. Bush, Clinton, Bush, ... Bush or Clinton. I don't know how this is going to go, but today we learned that Jeb Bush, yes, Jeb Bush, who may very well be the brightest Bush, has indicated that he is ready to embark on a serious consideration for the presidency of the United States of America. He may just be running against that former Secretary of State and First Lady. Can you imagine if we do this again? The Facebook post that he put up today was kind of interesting, or at least got some attention today, where he admits, after reflecting on some family time back in Thanksgiving and the like, he admits that he is ready to seriously, actively explore the presidency of the United States of America. Now, there are a handful of potential Republicans who could be running for the top job, but this puts Mitt Romney, I think, in a kind of funny place. He reportedly has generated more and more interest. In other words, has considered it to be more of a possibility himself, but Jeb Bush would be awful formidable, right? Now, we've got a governor in New Jersey who thinks he's got a shot at that. In fact, if we go all around the Mulberry Bush, we've got a governor in Texas and a governor in New Jersey, and we've got a governor in Louisiana, and we've got all of that going on, swirling around the word and name Bush. Same problem for the Democrats. And it seems to me that we've got this kind of, royal family battle now. Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Bush or Clinton. I don't know. I'm kind of yearning for something else, but we'll see. Jeb Bush is pretty formidable, by the way. Next item. Yes. Do you feel it in your bones, in your brain? The thought leaders are coming together. You remember the headline from last week where Gina Raimondo, our governor-elect, made a good decision to reverse her first decision, which was to close this summit to the media. Now the media, as we speak, is down there in the city of Providence at the URI campus, and they're thought leading. I'm a little goofy tonight. Good. 80 thought leaders. I can't wait to see who the list of thought leaders is. I'm probably, as we speak, since we record our broadcast nightly, just before dinner time, I'm sneaking down there to see who the thought leaders are, because I can't wait to see who the thought leaders are. And I hope the thought leaders have a thought about moving the economy forward, because I don't care who you are, thought leader or not, we need some brain activity here. By the way, we'll follow up with the thought leaders and take your calls on the radio tomorrow at noon till 3 on WPRO, because you know what? Even though you're not a thought leader, unless you are a thought leader, congratulations if you're a thought leader, but if you're not a thought leader, doesn't mean you can't have a good thought, right? Okay, this is crazy. This is nuts. This is crazy. Look at the HeraldNews.com headline here. Vote on this historic and unique election day. Well, if you take a look at the B-roll that Jess is going to run you here, that's a TV term for video without audio. It doesn't look like they're burning the house down in Fall River for this recall election. This has got to be one of the strangest things I've ever seen. So Will Flanagan is the mayor, right? And the folks don't like what he was trying to charge for garbage fees or whatever. He's a controversial guy, and people went after him. And they got enough signatures and did all the right stuff to initiate a recall vote. And the Superior Court judge decided, well, here's how we're going to run this thing. You can vote yes or no to recall. So in your little ballot situation, you people in Fall River had this option: approve the recall, which sends him packing, sort of, or don't approve the recall, which keeps him where he is. Here's the caveat. If you approve the recall, then you choose immediately from 8 other candidates. And guess who's on top of the list? The guy you just recalled, listed as incumbent. So do the math. If, say, 40% of the, say they vote to recall Flanagan, he's out. And say it goes 60-40, which would be a landslide, right? Well, the 40% of the voters who said, no, we want to keep him, then get a chance to vote. And they can vote for him. And with 8 candidates on the list, don't you think he's got a pretty good chance to win the election? Sam Sutter, the DA in Bristol County, why he wants to be the mayor is beyond me, but he's the most popular guy, I think, on that list. But it seems to me that this is going to be an exercise in futility. We'll see. We have to defend his First Amendment rights to be able to run again. Seems to me that there ought to be a constitutional protection for if the people say you're out, at least for a little while. I don't know. We'll see. Cranston police drama? Yeah, sort of. I mean, WPRI.com has this headline today. The council postpones the officer's promotion. This is about Captain Todd Padalano. It's very strange, folks. He was put on the bench for 2 years paid because he had allegedly did this, and this wrong, and it seems like it's now pretty well understood that this was a turf war battle with the former chief who's been out the door by Mayor Fung during all that heady stuff that occurred during campaign season earlier in this year. But his lawyer now is trying to make a deal. The new Chief Winquist, who comes from the state police, wants to make Padalano the major, like the second-ranking guy. So here this guy was useless. I'm not saying he's useless, but that was kind of the interpretation. On the bench, on the shelf. Now he's like the most valuable player, and his lawyer is trying to make a deal so that his deal rides with the union, even though the major position is not a union. It has some protections even past what the union gets. And the council said, whoa, we like this guy, but hold on a second. And here's that video.
The main issue was job security, that he didn't want to take this job out of the union and then have a future mayor or a future city council either cut the money or get rid of him. And we thought that was pretty legitimate, a legitimate concern, especially considering the various games that have been played in the police department and all the conflict.
There's Steve Stikos, a counselor in Cranston. You know, something tells me, and Bertie's whispering in my ear tell me, that the story about Cranston police dramas are not over, and the state police report on what's been going on there is due pretty soon. And I don't think Mayor Fung is going to be very happy with the public relations that come from this, nor how he looks in terms of leadership. But stay tuned for that. And it was good, speaking of police officers, it was good to see that so many people showed up in South Providence. They seemed to have a good talk. Little headline here, front page in the Providence Journal, toward a new beginning. People were at the South Providence Recreation Center, and they got some things off their chest. And what I like to see here is not only the Providence police showing up, but Colonel O'Donnell from the state police brought some troopers who came, and although they look very official, did some listening. This is something that has to go on and on and on and on, and has to remain consistent, and doesn't need Ferguson, Missouri, or Staten Island, New York, to sponsor the energy. Very good. Nice to see that. Your state of mind is important. Whatever you have to say, I want to hear it. Email me at stateofmind@myritv.com. Call me and leave a voicemail. Love those voicemails at 228-1886. And you can tweet. Of course, you can Facebook post as well. And by the way, with the email, a lot of you send email to my radio address because you're so familiar with that. Feel free to email at stateofmind@myritv.com. But I'm going to start taking some of your radio email and putting it over here since you guys seem to confuse that address. This person wasn't confused. She just likes a TV guide update now on her Facebook. Hey, Dan, what's on State of Mind tonight? Love that show. Oh, you guys kill me. That's all we wanted to pull out of the hat tonight. When we come back, jobs, jobs, jobs at Quonset. That's good news, don't you think? You know, we talk a lot about developing the economy here because we're in somewhat of a distressed situation, but there's good news in pockets all over the place. And here's a headline that you saw last week in the Providence Journal. 10,000th worker. They actually identified a single worker and kind of, you'll see him on video here coming up in a little bit. And Governor-elect Gina Raimondo was cheering this, and who wouldn't?
Let's get from 10,000 to 20,000, and we can do that. We can absolutely do that. You know, why did this happen? Everybody worked together. There was a plan. There were thoughtful, transparent incentives, and there was a commitment. And we build on our strengths. Everything. This isn't one industry here. There's marine, there's manufacturing, there's healthcare, and that is the recipe for success.
So she just got you doubling up your deal here. Can you get that done in the next 6 months?
Well, 6 months is going to be tough, but I think we'll get there at some point. We're working our plan, as you mentioned.
Stephen King is the guy that runs the shop down there, and it's more than one shop. It's probably one of those places that, unless you've been there lately, you have no idea what's going on down there.
Exactly. So we give lots of tours to lots of folks. I invite everybody watching if they'd like a tour to come down because the
be careful what you ask for.
That's okay. The universal response is, I had no idea.
Even for the bourgeoisie, even for the elected officials.
All the above.
Right?
Yes.
It really is. I have had one of those tours, by the way. It's been a couple of years since I did so, and I'm sure I would even see the changes that have occurred since then. But I think congratulations is in order in the sense that we've got this kind of economic malaise. In the meantime, you guys are just churning it out, and you've got much more fertile ground that you can cultivate, correct?
We do. So as the numbers show, we have 10,248 jobs there today, 195 companies. We have about 250 acres remaining for new development, which could yield another 5, 6, 7,000 jobs. No problem.
What's the thing? What's it that makes this place tick?
All right, so it's a couple things. It's the investment in the infrastructure. So we have sites and we have pad-ready sites primarily. So the second piece beyond the infrastructure is process. So we've got a good process.
But when you say pad-ready, it's like, okay, here's the piece of land. It's not empty and vacant. It's like it's got like pipes and stuff and stuff, water and
exactly.
heat and boom.
It's all set up,
Got
all
it.
graded flat, ready to
Like
go.
my map?
Design, permit. I like that map.
No, but I mean that's what you mean by
That's
that.
exactly what I mean.
And because you have that, that is a timing and competitive advantage, correct?
That's right. So we're guaranteeing anybody who wants to come to the park 90 days to start a new project. And we have a couple underway right now that are following that process.
No matter what the nature of the business?
No matter what the nature.
Well, you have some requirements and protocols, right?
Yes, we do, but we pre-designed all these sites. So we've done all the engineering work and the permitting work with the state DEM and CRMC and those type of agencies. So these sites are ready to go, and there's a plan. As long as what you want to do fits into one of the plans, in a general concept, then you can advance it right away.
So the governor-elect was right? Because this is really, this is multi-dimensional, the kind of business that goes on down there.
Exactly.
From the guys making subs to the people that are bringing cars in to what?
To warehouse distribution jobs at Job Lot, to manufacturing jobs at companies like Hayward Pools, at Hexagon Metrology, lab work at Dominion Diagnostics, at Ultra Scientific. There's a broad range of companies there at the park.
And we still have runways.
We do.
Yeah. So how does that whole thing fit into the whole situation?
Well, the airport is operated by the Airport Corporation that runs TF Green. And the airport is categorized as a general aviation reliever airport. So it's utilized predominantly by the Rhode Island National Guard for their military operations. It is open to business travel and business travelers at any time. So there's some hangar facilities there, and there's a lot of jets on the runway.
Do
down
folks
there.
zip in, zip out, some of the executives, that kind of
They
thing?
can, yeah.
Yeah, do they do that often? Is it high traffic for
I
that?
think there's opportunity there for more of that to happen, of course.
Why do you think this has been a little bit of a secret to most Rhode Islanders?
You know, we put the message out, and we have a great PR team, I think, as you know.
Maybe I'm wrong in my
and-
assumption in asking the question. Do you think
Yeah.
it's been a little bit of a secret?
Well, I think it depends who's paying attention, right, is the question.
point.
So there's lots of media goes out. I mean, every week I get stacks of media clips and information that's put out that we're mentioned in, and there's a lot of that. So it's always a question if people are paying attention.
All right, when we come back, I want to talk about the structure of this corporation and, you know, what the future holds and how does it compare to things like the 195 thing. Stay with us.
I believe this means hope. I think the state is improving. It's nice to see, people getting jobs because I know that the unemployment rate is high. And I know that this group is working hard to try to change that.
Very creative. That is the 10,000th employee.
The honorary 10,000th employee.
Now,
Exactly.
if I investigated that, would I find he was 9999 or 10002?
We can't tell you exactly. That's why we said he's honorary. We
And
pointed
who is that
out.
gentleman? He was working for who?
Amwins Group Benefits, a young man named Justin Jay, who works at
That was
Amwins
kind of
Group
neat.
Benefits.
Very creative in identifying the 10,000th employee. Listen, all the brass are down there, all the movers and shakers. Everybody wants to be able to applaud the success of Quonset, have a piece of the credit for it, which is fine. The corporation is a quasi-government agency, correct?
That is correct.
And so explain to everybody how Quonset works.
So our quasi-government entity is governed by a board of directors, 6 of whom are appointed by the governor, 2 are appointed by the local community of North Kingstown, 1 by the town of East Greenwich, and 1 by the town of Jamestown. The Rhode Island Commerce Secretary serves as the chairperson ex officio, and that's the governing entity that governs Quonset. I'm the managing director of the corporation. We have 44 employees.
Who's making the calls on what kind of businesses should and should not come in?
So that's an interesting point. We don't have should and should not kind of businesses. We are welcoming all businesses. So we have the park broken up into varying districts that fit. If you're a retailer, mixed use, if you're a warehouse distribution company, a manufacturing company, there's a spot for you. So it's not about one thing, it's about many things. We long ago chose not to have a single land use or a single orientation at the park.
So there really is tremendous opportunity down there. I mean, you're going to be announcing, well, you'd already announced, but you got the new sandwich maker guy coming in.
Yeah, so Green
So
Court
you
USA,
got
right.
people making Subways at General Dynamics, and you got a Subway. Now we're a sandwich guy coming in.
But we do have a Subway as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But-
There you go. Someone's got to go to lunch.
That's retail,
right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. 10,000 people have to eat. But we have this company, Green Court USA, is building a 107,000 square foot factory to produce 35 million plus sandwiches on a yearly basis. And they're going to be looking for 400 workers soon. So I invite everybody to check out QuonsetJobs.com because there's going to be spots there for people to get jobs.
Have you had situations where you get a proposal to get in there and you go,
yeah.
I'm not so sure this is going to fly?
Exactly. So the 3 metrics we always look at is, what do they want to invest? What's the tax generation going to be? What's the employment going to be? And look at the whole picture. And what are their financings? What are their ability to perform and actually produce a project?
And what is the
all that.
tax benefit for a company when it comes in there?
No direct tax benefit. They pay the same taxes in Rhode Island everybody else pays. North Kingstown offers them a property tax phase-in over a 6-year period by ordinance. We're only leasing the property at Quonset, so when they lease the property, we have 2 incentives that we offer companies. One's related to the term of the deal they sign with us, and the other's related to the employment. So for every employee, we take a 0.5% of the wages they pay their employees, and we give it back to them in a rent rebate.
How does it compare what you do to what they're trying to do at 195? Do you have any thought on that?
Well, I just think at Quonset, we're much more mature, and this has been going on for a long period of time, as you know. They're just getting started out, but I think they're trying to follow some of the same ideas, to pre-permit the sites and have programs in place, incentive programs.
It requires patience.
It does.
But now that you've got 10,000 employees and you've got 250 acres left to develop, you really do think you could at least another 50% or double what you have down there?
Yeah, double is going to be a reach, I think. We did
Yeah.
a master plan in 2008. We projected 15,000.
So you didn't write the script for Gina Raimondo when she said 10,000 more, did you?
No, sir,
You
I
just
didn't.
kind of went, oh, governor-elect. Okay, yeah, all right.
Well, but we're looking at the numbers, and we projected 15,000 in 08. We're going to redo our master plan this year, and we're going to look at the density. We're going to see a lot of uplift with what electric boat's doing, a lot more density in their footprint. chance, so we might get close to that number.
What do you project the economy to look like here? I mean, you must have your finger on the pulse of trends now.
Yeah, you know, I think the last 12 months or so, things have picked up quite a bit. You know, the inquiries that we receive, the calls, and the nature of the activity seems better than it was, you know, say 2-3 years ago. No question about it.
Well, to ask you if you're bullish on the economy would be a silly thing. Obviously, you've got to be.
Right.
But most of the companies that have gone in there have flourished.
They have, and they all stayed. I think Stanley Bostitch had a nail plant at the park that closed during the recession. They were the only company that we lost during the recession of 08 and 09.
So, no casino there, huh?
No casino, no.
You must have got a kick out of the conversations over the last, yeah, it hasn't been recent, but, you know, when the big casino thing was going, a lot of conversation about that would be the place off the water, this and that. It's not as easy as people think.
Well,
is
it's not, because the park's been tremendously successful. You know, we have 195 companies that are now would be in the way, if you would, for the casino idea to have a foothold.
And
So
isn't it true that what you're doing is real economy as opposed to money passing, chips and all in,
it
that
certainly
kind of
is.
stuff?
You know, we got people with real jobs taking money home to their families and paying real taxes. So.
If people are interested in building or creating there, it's as simple as going to the website and contacting it, right? QuantaJobs.com?
Yeah, I'm Quanta.com if you're interested in real
Quanta.com.
estate, and you can call me up and we'd be happy to help you out.
Or take the tour.
All the
Steve, be
above.
careful what you ask for. Let's see.
Hey, we'll get a bus every week, not a problem.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Keep up
thank
the
you
good
very
work.
much.
One more thing and we come back. You know, it's funny, you can take a tour of Quonset, and it is worth going down there. For those of you who've never gone down 402, 403, I don't know. I'm a true Rhode Islander now. I just know how to get there from here. I just can't remember what the names of the roads are. I never thought I'd get to that place, but they are open, not only for your business, but for your interest, and that's a good thing. Hey, tomorrow night, we'll check in with one of the guys that got his office back in the General Assembly, and on the next night, a Newtown mother. Lots to do. See you at noon on the radio tomorrow on WPRO. Bye-bye.